Good afternoon. My name's Jim, and I've ghost stories today that pertain to animals, our pets, other animals, even wild animals uh, are interacting with people, with dead people, invisible people. Uh, I already told you the story about my dog Sita at Forgedale. I had taken her to that old house, and we recorded a man upstairs talking to her, telling her to get off the bed. And later that day, she was found in a room up on the second floor, enthralled, talking to the man, uh, teaching us that we have to get our recorders higher to hear them, the invisible ones. Sita, we had her since birth, and I knew her really, really well. Uh, she played a game with this cat we had years ago called Sunflower, and the cat was allowed to live on the second floor, but it was not allowed on the first floor. Sita's rules. The cat would try to sneak down the steps occasionally because I would let the cat go outside. That's what it wanted. No, not according to Sita. Sita would see that cat sneaking down, spin around, get on the landing, fluff herself up real big, and bark, 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 bark. Try to scare, and eventually scare the cat back upstairs. This went on for years. The cat dies. Uh, Colette and I, my wife and I, were separated, but we were living together. But at that time, she was in Valley in Pennsylvania, and I was here in Panama. Colette sends me a video of the dog doing the same thing it always did when the cat came down the steps. No cat anymore, it's long dead. But Sita could still see it, and the cat was still trying to sneak down to the first floor. Sita would get on that landing, make herself real big. One time Colette was away, I went to Colleen's for dinner, and I took the dog. Colleen had years before had a cat by the name of Jay, and Jay always sat on the counter by the sliding glass door waiting to go out. Cat was long dead. Right in the middle of dinner, Sita goes into the big mode and starts barking at the counter where Jay used to sit years before. Jay was there, and Sita knew it and just didn't like cats. Colleen and Carla, when they were younger, they used to love to ride horses. And we have a family friend, kept horses not far. They would get on the horses and ride a dirt road adjacent to the house. It was a quiet road, no traffic, and so it was safe for two younger girls to ride their horses. But they could only get as far as that abandoned house on the right-hand side. Neither one of those horses would pass the house. Something must have been there. Horses are very sensitive. To this day, I don't know. Back to Colleen's house. She had a dog named Whisper years ago. And Whisper was with Colleen in the kitchen as she's making dinner. Colleen hears what she thinks is her husband come down the steps and mess around at a table in the foyer where, the spare change, his cigarettes are sitting there, that kind of stuff. Colleen assumes it's her husband. The dog leaves her side, Whisper goes over to the doorway in the foyer and is watching somebody. You know how dogs tilt their head a little bit and really pay attention? The dog wasn't going in the foyer, but it was standing right there watching whatever was in the foyer. It wasn't her husband. He was still upstairs in the shower. He didn't come down. The dog saw somebody and was paying attention to it. Here in this house, we had a great situation that taught us an awful lot. This was just a couple years back. It was in March. I was getting ready to come back to Pennsylvania. I was preparing a study, setting up the recorders, getting ready to go, and there's two birds on the porch out here that they were building a nest and making a hell of a racket. Now I'm getting ready to leave in a week, so I'm not going to tear out the nest. I'm just letting they can have the house. I'll be gone in a week, so I didn't want to disturb them. But I need silence for these studies. It has to be super, super quiet. So I just say out loud to the house, if there's any way you can quiet those birds, I would really appreciate it. I noticed about a minute into the study that indeed it is quiet. I didn't know what happened. I could have, what would they do to quiet two birds? Study's done. I gather all the recorders and I go around and open the house all up again. I have open the doors, open the windows. And I come around to the one door in the bedroom and there's the two birds on the ground, unconscious. I can see them breathing. The one's on its side. The other one's just like in a prone position. They're breathing real heavy, but they're right next to each other outside the door, like around the corner of a chair, like tucked away on the opposite side of the porch. They took care of the birds. They caught the birds, didn't kill them. And 10 minutes later, the birds went back to happily making their nest. They weren't injured in any way. But now I've learned that, especially here, because there's a lot of dogs in the distance here, there's a lot of noise outside here. And before every study, I ask them, hey, if you can help me out with the noise outside, I'd appreciate it. And they do. There's dogs in the distance. Somehow they wrangle those dogs quiet for the 5 minutes that it takes to do these studies. Just recently, I did a study in a hurry. I just noticed that the wind had died down. It got real quiet. And I quick grab the recorders and I get everything ready to go, shut the doors. And I'm just starting to study and I can hear dogs in the distance. And I mention the dogs in the distance for the sake of me and Colleen having to listen to these audio files that I'm generating. And we recorded a lady in the spare room. She says, well, he didn't tell us about the animals today. I didn't give him directions. I was in a hurry, and I specifically did not give him directions to quiet the animals, so they didn't. And she admitted it. She admitted it to her neighbor, not to me. It's interesting. Our pets, we see all of our pets in the afterlife, we've been told. And that's come up as a theme with these people. We know our deceased father, has seen his childhood dog. It was named Turkey, and a mule or a donkey, whatever you want to call those critters. He's seen that since he's been in the afterlife. And we've been recently told that pets are going to become group members. Now, my last name's Finnegan, and so I belong to the Finnegan group. So does Colleen. But we did not know that now, soon, pets are going to be actually belong to the group. It's I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I hear it's snowing up in Pennsylvania. People sit tight and enjoy the video. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Subscribe, please. I need all the help I can get. Thanks.